Welcome to Market Day Report. All right, we're getting close to some USDA reports. In 15 minutes or so, we'll get a World Ag Supply Demand Estimates, also known as the WASDE report. And we'll also pick up a crop production report, just a couple coming out from USDA today. Already out, the weekly export sales report. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Let's go to the corn market and where we're trading right now. The new crop December, a little pre-positioning ahead of this report, 440 and a quarter. It's a half penny higher. Now the average estimate for U.S. ending stocks is 1.789 billion bushels. And for world ending stocks, 278.79. And U.S. yield at 181. So that's what the trade is expecting at this point right now. Over to the bean market, and the trade's expecting 298 on ending for the U.S. For the world, 124.67, and then the average trade estimate for yield, 52.5. November beans 2 1/4 lower. 1027. So why the lower trade? We'll find out in just a moment with Ryan Kelbrants. Also, the wheat market is trading in lower territory right now. Trade estimate on U.S. ending stocks, 925 million. And for world ending stocks, 265.02. And so we'll keep an eye out for that. Obviously, you're seeing the Chicago wheat contract, which is trading in the red here at mid-morning, and hard red trading lower as well. And then we'll roll over to spring wheat before we go to Ryan. And spring wheat contracts are a little higher, up 6 1/4, 651. So Ryan Kelbrants is with CHS Hedging in Minnesota. And, you know, there's so much going on here, but the first one we got this morning, that weekly export sales report, fairly disappointing, was it not?
Yeah, the corn number came in at 791, 300 metric tons. They were thinking 700 to 1.2 million. And then the new crop was a negative 29,600. So they're thinking 0 to 200,000 metric tons. You know, for old crop, that's down 16% below last week and 33% below the 4-week average. We've seen some good export sales prior to that. Soybean number, marketing year low for the old crop, 61,400. They're thinking 100 on the low end, up to 500. New crop, 58,100. They were thinking 0 to 200,000. So that's also down from about 74% from the 4-week average. Meal, a decent number in line with estimates, but towards the lower end of the range, 214,500. They were looking at 100 to 400. And on the new crop, 46,500. That was towards the high end of 0 to 50,000. Oil, 5,600, nothing big there. And the new crop oil was a negative 1,500. They're thinking 0 to 10,000. Wheat number totaled 388,900 for 25-26. Marketing year start there ended the 31st. So they're thinking 400 to 600,000 there. CONAB came out with some numbers this morning. They're more in line with the USDA on their soybean estimate for Brazil, 169.6 million metric tons. The USDA is currently at 169. Well, we're going to see what they print in about 12 minutes. And then their exports increased slightly as well. The total corn crop is at 128.25. Their safrinha crop's growing a little bit there. That's up from 126.8 previously. So looking at weather models, obviously, you know, they're getting some rains in Alberta, which are beneficial. Parts of Iowa in the 1 to 5 day, 6 to 10 day, turns a little bit wetter in parts of the Canadian prairies and the Central Plains and Midwest, along with a little heat. But you got to keep in mind here, there's a lot of time before the corn and soybeans are harvested. So we could have some hiccups. There's been talk of maybe a high pressure ridge moving in later this month. So we'll keep an eye on the weather. Also, Taiwan ended up buying the 95,450 metric tons of U.S. milling wheat, and Tunisia's tendering for 75,000 metric tons of optional origin milling wheat, and Jordan's also in for 120,000 optional origin wheat as well. So all eyes are going to be on the report in just about 10 minutes, and we'll digest those numbers and the market will react.
Yep, Ryan Kelbrants is with CHS Hedging. Thanks, Ryan. All right, and as we go to break, let's look at the cotton market real quick. We didn't mention the cotton quotes. They are lower at 67.12, and again, inside a 63-point trading range. So this is really nothing. There's hardly any news as we try to talk about cotton and USDA's report. The average trade estimate is for 5.02 million bales for U.S. ending stocks. That would be a little bit of a drawdown from May. World ending 77.88 million bales. That would be a drawdown of maybe 500,000 bales or so from the May estimates. So again, we'll keep an eye on that report coming out in less than 10 minutes. And right around the corner, we're back with livestock futures. Market Day Report continues in a moment.